Samsung probably misestimated the launch of the Galaxy A56 considering how many other manufacturers have launched phones in the $400 to $600 bracket in the past few months. But if you can find it in the crowd, the new top player of Samsung's budget lineup has a whole lot to offer. As a full-sized phone with plenty of storage and attractive display, some of the AI features that set Samsung's flagship phones apart, and most importantly, a price that's remained stable since last year. Only users who want the most performance per round or better rounded cameras will question the value proposition Samsung is laying down. But with the new Google Pixel 9a and outgoing Pixel 8a, not to mention the Nothing Phone 3a Pro and the iPhone 16e all vying for your attention, why would you go for the Samsung made option? Check out our video of this Galaxy A56 review and you will learn why. You will have to part with $499 to get Galaxy A56 depending on where you are viewing this. Whichever currency you are spending, you are getting to 56 GB of storage by default. It's unfortunate that there is no option to spend more to further expand the storage capacity, but having twice as much storage as the Galaxy A55 from last year without costing a penny more is the kind of upgrade we treasure. Like a fiercely independent teenager refusing to dress like their parents, the Galaxy A56 has moved away from the Galaxy S style design that the Galaxy A55 had and now sports its own unique look along with the other Galaxy A6 model. The side rail again contains the raised key island section to give the buttons more prominence, which we saw on the Galaxy A55, but now the back uses a new unified camera block with the three sensors surrounded by a peel of aluminum. The Galaxy A56 is rated IP67 for dust and water resistance, the same as the Galaxy A55 but behind the IP68 of most flagship phones like Samsung's own Galaxy S25 series. Similarly, the Galaxy A56 shares the A55's Big Dust Plus glass front and back panels, which is still tough but not as tough as the Big Dust 2, Big Dust 2 Plus or Gorilla Armor Glass types that have debuted more recently. The one issues I have, and only a minor one, is the glossy finish of the rear of the phone. Most phones use textured glass or plastic that makes it hard to notice finger marks, but not the Galaxy A56, whose back panels looks like a French door installed in a kindergarten after only few minutes of use. The color selection for the Galaxy A56 is a direct split between sensible and spunky. Graphite and light gray are available for the sensible, giving the Galaxy A56 a dignified look, while the olive and pink are there for people who want to make a statement. The Galaxy A56 sticks with a 6.7-inch Full HD display like its predecessors, albeit with the bezel slimmed down compared to the Galaxy A55. You can still tell this isn't a premium display by the remaining thickness of the screen borders, but it's bright and colorful and significantly larger than what to get on the Pixel 8a or iPhone 16e, both using 6.1-inch panel. Samsung basically imported the Galaxy A56's camera straight from the Galaxy A55. There is a 50MP main camera, a new 12MP ultra-wide and a 5MP macro camera on the back, plus an updated 12MP selfie camera on the front. The new front camera's lower res sensor than the 32MP one previous Galaxy A model's features, but one which Samsung promises offers improved low light performances as well as adds HDR video support. Here are some camera samples of Samsung Galaxy A56. This is the category I went into my Galaxy A56 reviewed reading. Samsung's mid-range Exynos chips haven't been impressive historically, and with an Exynos 1580 driving the A56, I wasn't expecting great results, and undoubtedly, my expectations were met. To focus on the positive first, the Galaxy A56 does better than the Galaxy A55 it's replacing and beats the Nothing Phone 3a Pro on the Geekbench CPU and 3D Mark GPU tests. But the Samsung is a long way behind the Pixel 8a and iPhone 16e, which both use flagship grade chips, and I can't fathom how slow the Galaxy A56 is at processing video, turning in the single worst result I have seen on our Adobe Premiere Rush test of turning a 4K video into a 1080p one. Samsung has given the A56 a little extra help with intensive tasks with the addition of vapor chamber cooling, only seen on Samsung's flagship models before now. The influence of this addition was easily felt while gaming, as even when the Galaxy A56 has struggled to keep up with Genshin Impact at maximum setting and the 60 FPS frame rate setting, it didn't get that warm. While Samsung hasn't tricked out the Galaxy A56's chipset, it's generous enough to give the A56 256GB of storage by default. This is double the basic storage of all the rival phones we have mentioned here, but it comes at a bit of a cost. Firstly, this is the only available version to regular consumers. There is no other option to pay more to get 512GB or an even higher capacity, or to pay less if you prefer to save money or don't think you will fill 256GB. The other key factor is the Samsung no longer offers storage expansion via microSD card. This was offered on the Galaxy A55 and older models and allowed users to pop in up to another terabyte of storage. It's also a shame that the 12GB of RAM edition of the Galaxy A56 isn't being sold in Europe or North America. Having this much RAM on a phone of this price is a novelty, but also practical for performance reasons, and it's quite mean of Samsung not to offer it to us. The 5000 mAh battery in the Galaxy A56 is just as large as previous generations, but Samsung has somehow managed to squeeze much more battery life out of the same capacity. Since we haven't lab tested the Galaxy A56 yet, I performed my unofficial battery test, which sees how much battery a phone loses after 3 hours of 1080p YouTube video over Wi-Fi. The Galaxy A56 only lost 14% in this test, which compared to the Pixel 8a and Galaxy A55, which lost 18% and 22% respectively, is a big improvement and a comforting sign of good battery life under more typical conditions. In a surprising move, Samsung has given the Galaxy A56 45 wired charging, only seen before on the Galaxy S25 Plus and S25 Ultra and their predecessors. It's fast for a phone of this price, although there is no brick on the box provided, and Samsung's own 45-watt charger will set you back $49. We'll get back to you when we have charging test results for you, but we'd expect a charger of this power to fill the Galaxy A56 to empty to full in around an hour. With the expectations of people I know to be keen gamers, I'd not hesitate to recommend the Galaxy A56's brilliant blend of power efficiency, image quality on display and via the camera, and generous selection of AI features, software support length and default storage for anyone with their budget fixed at the mid-price range, but I don't know if it would necessarily be my first recommendation to anyone either. The best advice I can give about deciding if you want a Galaxy A56 is how happy you are with a jack of all trade phones. It can be argued that overall balance is better than excellence in a narrow category, and if that's your outlook on life, you'll get on well with the Galaxy A56.